Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clip, clop, clip, cowboy, prairie dogs.
I was going to sing Old Town Road, but I don't know the lyrics.
I'm Freddy. This is my episode.
Yay!
Night of the Living Podcast. Thank you for listening. I'm reviewing both the Roulette movie, which was The Marshes, and it's my pick this week. So I chose the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
It would have been funny if you also chose The Marshes as your
That is highly unlikely.
Yeah,
that would have happened.
Spoiler alert.
You know, but just know that that's probably not an indicator of how good or bad the movie was. But Kelley,
Yeah.
howdy ho.
Oh.
Andy,
Howdy.
Amy.
I'm a hoe.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
I made a new margarita recipe last night that I kind of made up. What'd you guys think?
It was delicious.
It was a Mineola Tangelo.
Yeah,
I couldn't drink it and I wasn't here, but I thought it was good too.
I wish you had been here.
Yeah.
To taste it. To taste
I wish
my
you better
stuff.
had.
You know, I love the
I think
text
you
though
better
that Alise, she's like, Kelley is deeply immersed in music right now.
I said I got my new delay pedal yesterday.
Yeah.
And I got a compressor pedal from someone that I am borrowing. And so I was setting up my rig. I also got a new fuzz pedal, which is awesome. My Death by Audio Fuzz War. I love it. And I was taking other pedals off and rearranging my rig. And so I spent quite a bit of time.
When you take pedals off, do you go, he loves me? He loves me not.
Well
do.
done.
He loves me.
I do. And then
Not those kinds of pedals.
So does he love you? Where do you end off at?
He does love me.
Oh,
Jesus does love you.
Congratulations.
It's Jesus.
This I know.
So happy for you.
We didn't want to tell anybody yet, but but I think it's out now.
Okay.
So speaking of Kelley's music, you and I were talking about possibly releasing some of your stuff to the Patreon.
Yes,
feed.
I would like. I was just waiting until after we finished everybody's Russian Roulette, just since it's kind of everyone's. That's their thing.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking maybe with the new theme. There are 3 songs. I have I'll tell you more about it when we release them, listeners. And some of you already have it. But just to tease, I have a solo music project that I've been working on. It's sort of a fake band, and I have 3 songs of a planned 8-song album that I've released as sort of a little sampler. And so if we can, I'd like to put one at the end of each of 3 episodes, and then just put the links up.
Nice.
But anyway,
Okay.
but yeah, more to come on that, listeners. But I'm very proud that I did everything for it. So
I'm excited. I've heard a lot of this, and I think it's all fantastic.
well, thank you. It's all horror related,
And I'm not biased because, I
you
know.
would tell me.
I would tell you. I'd be like, hey.
You'd be like, good try. This was garbage.
Yeah. But everything you've been doing is, in my opinion, is pure gold.
Thank you.
He's a talented boy.
Well, I went and I dug a bunch of holes until I struck it.
Mr. Pocket.
I wish he'd done a song. Anyway, listeners. That's for later. That was just for us.
Yeah. So in case you're wondering, like, if this is your first time listening, you're like, I thought this was a show about horror movies.
It's not.
It typically is. But this is our Staff Pick series, or Podcaster's Choice. We changed it because I had a hard time fitting all that onto the graphics. Just call it Staff Picks to be short.
God damn it, Andy.
We each picked a movie, and we didn't have any restrictions on what that was. And I was all set to go with Pee-wee's Big Holiday, which I just been catching up on stuff on Netflix. Like, I'm obviously way behind the rest of the world.
Not me. You're way ahead of me.
Same? Okay. And then I one of the movies, I was like, okay, Pee-wee's Big Holiday is fantastic. I love it. But then
Pee-wee.
I watched the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and I was like, this is the movie that I got to pick because, one, there's a lot to talk about in it. And two, it's an anthology film. Three, it's a Western. It's the Coen Brothers. It's got a little of every genre of movie in it. So for me, that's why I picked that when we get to that later. Patreon, though, Amy and I did a comic book show together.
Yeah, Freddie,
Oh, shit.
Freddie made me.
Yeah, patreon.com/NOTLP.
Huh?
At gunpoint.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why she sounds nervous.
If you would like to hear Amy discuss some Star Trek comic books that she read.
How do you feel like you did?
I think I did okay.
If you were to rate yourself
I mean,
on a scale of 1 to 5.
I'm not a comic book person, but I am a Star Trek person, so I tried.
Well, we'll take that into account when we do your review. And
Thank you.
We'll get back with you.
That I gave it my
Yeah.
all.
And I talked about some Marvel and DC stuff I've been reading. Immortal Hulk, the new Amazing Spider-Man. When I say new, that's I think 2018 is when that started. Back to Basics. And we also
Is that a Peter Parker book?
It is, and it's a really, really good like throwback to the comics that we read as kids.
Nice.
They brought the feeling back that had been missing for me from a lot of it, where he's not a Tony Stark clone anymore. He's back to being. That's why I think they call it Back to Basics.
Yeah.
The Lizard's in it.
That's my favorite villain.
Yeah, Boomerang is in it. The Black Cat. Really, really fun. But also
Can I ask
talked
something
about
real quick? What's the boomerang's power? Did he just come back to you?
He throws boomerangs.
That's it?
He's a fighter. He's kind of like a Daredevil-ish. I don't know if he has an
Is he
actual
like Captain
superpower.
Boomerang from
Yeah.
DC?
No, Boomerang's just a villain character.
Is he like Hawkeye?
He's Peter Parker's roommate.
Is he Australian?
No.
Oh, he's appropriating Australian culture.
Yeah. And then we talked about from DC, Aquaman the Trench, which is like a horror run they did for New 52, which is really cool. And something, the oldie but goodie Batman The Long Halloween. From
Great
96.
one.
That is a great one.
I love that story.
Trying to get Amy to read that one. It's 13-issue run. That is
so
like a murder mystery. But
Sorry.
it's okay. Anyways,
Sorry.
patrons, you're the reason that we can continue to do this show because it is very expensive. Like I said, we had to replace our computer recently. That was a big expense. All this gear, keeping up with it, hosting costs, blah, 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 blah. Making the perks that we send out in the mail.
Getting our new grills
We got,
for our mouths.
we had to get a dang.
Platinum's not cheap.
Yeah.
No. But I'm worth it.
Yeah. So the reason Amy guested on Night of the Comic is besides the fact that she's great.
Them other boys are busy.
Yeah, Dave is moving into a new place, and Jason has some work obligations. He is temporarily taking a break just for that, and then we will return with the regular format of that show, I think, soon.
Then we just recorded an intro to episode 79 from 2007.
Origins.
You know what we talked about in that show? A trailer for The Dark Knight had just come out.
Oh, neat.
Which one was? Is that Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
God, I'm old.
Yes, you are.
I just don't remember shit.
Do you want to know how old Andy is? He just turned 40 a
I'm
few days
40.
ago.
Happy birthday,
I
Andy.
can stretch. Kick.
This is our
All
little
of it, all of
birthday
it,
boy
all of it.
here.
So Amy's still clinging on to 39.
Yeah! Yeah! Clinging like by the skin of my fucking teeth.
She's like,
Ew, you have skin on your teeth?
she's like Rose on the boat, like on the raft. Like,
Yeah.
I won't let go.
You're the last one, Amy.
I won't let go.
And I'm holding on to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Eventually, you're gonna have to let go.
And then
But,
you're
yeah.
like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You both
It's
could have
cold.
fit on the door, but
Yeah. I'm selfish.
you had to let 40 drown.
I'm a selfish bitch.
Shellfish.
I'm a shellfish.
So Origins, yeah. If you don't know what Origins is, that's where we revisit old episodes with we had put a commentary on the beginning to apologize for all the stupid shit we said.
Yep.
14
And
years
to
ago.
just revisit dumb opinions we had or how they've changed.
Yeah, like I thought Andy Samberg was not a leading man. I was wrong.
I always enjoy hearing news about movies that ended up becoming big or like...
Or never happened.
Or never happened.
Completely spun out into something different.
We were super excited about it. We were like, this is happening. And then,
I
the
think
Mountains of Madness.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Over and
think-
over and over
Yeah.
again.
I had said something like, Yeah, The Dark Knight. Like Heath Ledger looks like he's going to be great, and then I just remember disliking that movie.
Now, did he die before that was released?
No, after.
It was after. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And I'm sorry again, Kelley.
I actually think he was. I think he did die before it was released because I thought they had to finish some stuff posthumously, or maybe that was the Imaginary. I think that was the Imaginarium of Dr.
Yeah,
Perez.
that.
Still haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
The Margarine of Dr. Pissness.
What?
Pissness Everdeen.
Oh my God. Why do you?
All that margarine in them jeans.
So,
It's healthier for you, though.
no, that's a fallacy.
Is it? I thought-
No, butter is definitely better. For
is it
Butter's
really?
better.
Oh. Then
Yeah.
why? Then
Do
why,
you know the story of margarine?
Then why does margarine exist?
Because of Napoleon. I think
Oh,
it was
wait, he
Napoleon.
did die before it came out.
Yeah.
Because it was released in July of 2008, and he died in January of 2008. Wait. Yep.
So there you go.
He died the day after your birthday, Andy, in 2008.
You killed him.
Well done,
That was
Yeah.
your birthday wish, wasn't it?
son of a bitch.
Which dreams do come true.
Oh my
You blew out those candles and you were like,
Yeah. So margarine. Back to the
please
important
don't.
topic of margarine. And it totally. I'm not going to look this up, and I could be completely wrong, but I think Napoleon's armies, their butter kept becoming rancid, so they invented something that had a longer shelf life, and it was margarine. I don't know if that's true. I might have just made it up.
That's nice.
sounds interesting.
I didn't know margarine was that old.
Yep, it's that old.
It's still good. Like
Hey, old.
the Napoleon margarine, you can still eat it.
Oh, we were just reading about Forever Stews the other day. Where there are these stews that they don't throw the broth out. Like they keep a little bit of it. Oh, and it just always stays on, and then they just add new ingredients.
Just like starter yeast or whatever they call it, starter dough.
Yeah, so there exactly. So there are some soups there, like one we were reading about, had been started like 45 years ago, and it was still going. But there were ones before World War II that had been going since the 1400s.
Wow.
And they just keep heating, like they keep it on the heat.
That's
and
crazy.
They throw out most of the broth. They keep a little bit of the broth.
So it's super concentrated, the best part.
It just keeps flavoring. Yeah,
Sounds haunted.
That's like cast iron.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
It's
if
exactly
you
like that.
cook with cast iron, the
Seasoned.
more you cook it in it, the better the food gets.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Love our cast iron.
yeah. I love food. I'm a food person. I'm made of it mostly. My legs are breadsticks, the brittle kind that they used to have in fancy
Oh,
restaurants.
it's like, what's that?
Oh yeah! Oh my God, those teeth breakers in plastic, but you'd eat them anyway.
Yep.
You're like Pizza the Hut.
Yeah,
Remember he was made of food?
My knees are Yorkshire puddings, and my femur and calf bones or whatever they call those.
Where does the Melba
Shins.
toast fit in?
Feet. I have
Your
Melba
feet are
toast
Melba
feet.
toast feet.
It takes a lot for me now to bite Freddy every day.
Yeah, it's scary to be around him.
Our bed is very crummy. There's just like cracker crumbs everywhere.
You won't kick him out of bed, would you?
For eating myself.
For eating himself? Yeah.
Stop it!
That's for me.
Stop it!
That's why you can't sleep, Amy. That's why you have insomnia, because all those crumbs are keeping you up at night.
Yeah. It's an uncomfortable situation, and I don't know why it
uncomfortable.
won't end.
Uncomfortable.
And all those
Nope.
and all those ants just milling around. Mm-hmm. Y'all filthy.
You're filthy.
I know I want to make a person out of foods.
Okay.
Like a whole turkey, like for the abdomen.
Yeah, like an effigy.
Yeah. Basically an edible effigy.
Edible effigy.
Oh, do you want to start a
Let's
website?
do it. Let's TM everyone.
Yeah. Send an edible effigy to show that you hate someone.
That's like happy anniversary. Oh.
Do you despise a political figure and you want to devour them with
The Peter
It
Gabriel
gets
sledgehammer.
partially eaten before you send it.
yeah.
Sledgehammer video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like that.
And the dancing chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have different levels. We could just have a crudité plate that is made up to look like a face. That's your base level.
Is crudité just a vegetable plate?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of chopped up veggies.
Okay.
That's crudité.
All right.
Petey Gabe's.
Crudely
Petey
cut
Gabes.
vegetables.
Sledgehammer, one of the greatest music videos ever created.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's up there with Thriller.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Or that Black Candlemas video where they're in the they're out in the woods just walking around.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
No.
Gosh, yeah. Well, look it up.
And then I just fainted from shame.
Amy just passed out on her fainting couch and clutched her pearls.
My pearls. You can't have my pearls.
Get the smelling salts. And slap her.
We'll do all the stuff.
Okay.
Rip up some sheets and boil some water? Or is that just for pregnant ladies?
No, we just should do it anyway.
Okay.
It's just a standard operating procedure for.
Have you ever smelled smelling salts?
No.
I have.
Have you ever eaten
They're
salts?
powerful. Like, it is really a powerful sensation in your nostrils.
Yeah.
I can see how they work on people.
They had them on those old-timey TV shows at the ready. Like, people always were just carrying them around with them.
Do you think like there's a scent of danger that the evolutionarily speaking, like you have like that something in your brain that when you smell something, it's like a fight or flight thing that happens that wakes you up?
Certainly, I'm sure there are smells like that. I don't know if that's
Fire?
what smelling salts does. I don't know anything about them.
I wonder, does smelling salts smell like fire, Amy?
I can't remember what it smells like. I just remember the feeling of it.
I kind of feel like, like maybe you'd feel like, oh, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just something that just rouses you because it's so intense.
It arouses you.
Because don't they do that with ammonia too?
Well, I think ammonia's in
Oh.
So smelling salts, also known as ammonia inhalants, spirit of hartshorn, or sal volatile,
Angel farts.
Sounds
are
like
chemical compounds
sounds
often
like
used
Harry Potter
to
stuff.
arouse consciousness. This is the Wikipedia.
My consciousness.
The
is so
physiological
aroused.
action, would you like to know? They release ammonia, which triggers an inhalation reflex by irritating the mucous membranes of the nose and lungs.
Sounds like poppers.
Also be a good band name, the Irritated Mucous Membranes. Punk.
It counteract the vagal parasympathetic effects and thereby reverse the faint.
The taint?
Yeah.
That's
It
our first
reverses the
album.
taint. I've got a reverse taint.
That's called
That's the
a
first
tiz.
song. That's on the album. Reverse taint.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Speaking of irritants, Freddie and I were out
Irritants?
Outback the other night.
Oh boy.
Is this the bar story?
You were where?
I need to tell this story because this bothered me.
Is it a
still
great
bothers
story
me.
though?
This man was rude to the bartender in front of us, and Freddie called him a grumpykins
And Amy
I don't think loud enough for him to
Amy
hear.
called him an entitled twat.
as we left.
I was like, I guess Grumpykins wasn't enough.
I love Grumpykins.
I do too.
I collect them all.
It's accurate.
But then after we left and we were in the car, I thought of 1,000 other things I could have said, including, could you just be kind?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the episode of Seinfeld. You're like George.
This was
in the
a
jerk story.
I am very
this
much
was
like
a
George.
middle-aged balding white dude
By himself. Comes up to the Outback bar, is waiting maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
She comes over and she's like, would you like to order a drink? And he says, well, that would be nice. I've only been waiting 10 minutes, which untrue. And then he proceeds to just order a motherfucking iced tea.
Yeah.
Ass fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
And I called him and I said, you're an entitled twat. Anyway,
he sounded like one.
like, I think you need to call that out when you see it, if it's a safe environment and this little doughy boy I could have handled. You know what I'm saying?
I'll call it out safe or not.
Amy really
Yeah.
wants me to get in another fight.
I don't want you to get in a fight. I'm not asking you to do anything.
Was did this guy look like the type of person that would have called her a bitch?
No, he looked like a squishy little doughy beaten down man.
He looked like he had a tea time in the morning.
Yeah.
He was wearing like one of those windbreakers that sideline coaches wear.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He was that man.
He was probably somebody's softball coach, twice divorced. I have a whole story in my head about him.
And that was his only joy in life, iced tea at
Yeah.
Outback.
He was entitled to everything but human companionship.
And iced tea.
Yeah.
It's just like, people need to know when they're misbehaving, like when you're being unjust and unkind. I think it is worthwhile to say something.
It is.
Could I have been kinder? Of course. And I probably should have just said, you need to be kinder to her. She's clearly busy.
Did you
That's
say
fine.
that to him?
Yeah.
You said it to his face?
Entitled twat?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did he
She
say
did
to
a
that?
drive-by on him.
I did a drive-by as I was getting on my chair and walking past him.
Did he hear you?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
She
I
said
said
it pretty
very
loud.
loud.
Did he say anything?
No,
You
I don't
won.
know. I left.
Oh, you won.
Yeah, I did win.
I did the more subtle. I went, geez, what a grumpykins. I kind of looked at Amy and the bartender.
Well, that works too.
Yeah, and I thought maybe that would just be like the nudge in the right direction. Be like, oh, maybe I am being a grumpykins, and I'll make sure to leave extra tip.
I've done that in the grocery line where I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Pissed off much? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that guy probably looked around like, who's the Grumpykins? Who's being rude?
I don't understand.
It just sucked the air out of the room when he did it.
Because everybody was having fun. There was 8 speak to the manager haircuts at the bar.
4.
I'm exaggerating for flavor.
Sorry.
You know what feeling I like? The times I've done that at the store, when you say something like loud enough for them to realize you're talking about them, and they look back at you as if they're going to shame you, and then you just stare them right back.
Stare them down.
Yeah, I did say it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Be like, what happened to you today that made you so upset?
And then you put your
Do you want
dukes
to talk
up.
about it? Sometimes, that will really throw people for a loop. You're like, is everything okay?
I should have
You
just said
having a really bad
that.
day? Like, did something happen today? Did your wife just leave you? Or you have a sick relative in the hospital? And then they're like,
You're like, I didn't mean that.
and then they just start fucking bawling. And then you're like, we've made a connection. And then you're like, you're an entitled twat after that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I thought you were my friend. And then it hurts even more.
That's what I'm after.
Yeah, Amy wants the pain.
See, my first instinct is to whip out my phone and go, World Star. I'm like, I'm going viral.
I can't not. Like, I thought about not saying anything.
Good. You shouldn't not.
It was fine. You
Fucking
did right.
asshole.
It's pretty badass.
I secretly like it when you do that sort of thing, but then there's part of me that worries you're going to get killed one day.
I know. Obviously, I will read the room. If I'm in a place where I don't think I can get away with being.
Like a biker bar.
Yeah.
All the biker bars you guys go to, you're like, in one of these, no way.
I was like the Pee Wee Herman, like, could you all please be quiet? I'm on the phone.
to use the phone.
And then the viral comes up and like, I think we should let him go.
I love
I
that.
should do that.
Oh, God.
Don't do that, Amy.
Do we have any biker bars in town?
Right down the street.
Oh, the Naughty Pine. That's right.
Yeah. Quaker Steak and Lube is essentially a big
Highway
biker
House?
bar now.
Sundays.
Yeah.
Where?
Highway House?
Where's that?
It's down the way.
On the highway.
It's on the highway.
It's down the way. It's not on the highway, actually.
Ironic.
Is it on a byway?
No, it's like in the...
It's in a canal.
It's in the back areas.
It's in the back area.
I don't remember where it is, but it's
in
a
the
place.
wetlands,
Highway
The
House.
Marshes.
the marshes.
It's a biker bar.
Remember,
Yeah.
we used to have a problem with the Iron Horseman?
You did?
Not me.
Oh,
Well, my aunt's ex-husband was an Iron Horseman, but like this town used to
Which
have.
aunt?
I got you.
What's an Iron
Yeah.
Horse? Is that like a biker gang or something?
Yeah, they're notoriously, and like he got in a shootout one time.
Yeah, they've got a
and-
couple of bars around here. They've
never-
got a number.
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Oh,
never
okay.
heard
I
of
didn't
that.
know
Yeah,
that.
there was a big kerfuffle a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, there was like a big fight at an Iron Horse.
Listen, I
nuts.
saw Sons of Anarchy. I'm not going to mess with them.
No, you shouldn't.
No, sirree.
Unless you're prepared to go all the way.
What if that guy
I want to
turned
be
out?
somebody's old lady.
What if we walked past that guy and on the back of his windbreaker it said Iron Horseman? Golfer division.
That balding
Yeah.
doughy guy.
Suburban white man edition.
It's like, I got this off eBay.
Unsweetened iced tea, please. Got to get back on my hog.
He's got the
drive
Beatles.
responsible.
Well, every club needs a fluffer.
I've been waiting 10 minutes.
Oh,
10
okay.
minutes, my ass. And so what if you were?
No,
Right?
I agree with you.
It was packed. There was not
Did
an
the
open seat.
absolute world end
He
because you
was-
didn't get your iced tea right
He
then?
was so thirsty, Amy. So thirsty.
Fuck you.
Thirsty for justice.
Listener, I encourage everybody, call him out when you see him, but try to do it with kindness and not in an unsafe way.
And also,
Yeah, don't get stabbed like Chris Chambers.
Yeah,
not
like-
Chris Chambers.
No, he got stabbed.
It was Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Chris Chambers.
He tried to make peace.
Yeah.
He's always the best at making peace.
Yeah.
Then he got fucking stabbed in the throat. He was a lawyer. Mm-hmm. He'd risen above.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Stand By Me.
Sold
Stand
milk
by
money.
me. Andy and I were kind of like, I thought it was Stand By Me, but I wasn't sure.
I thought it was like some guy you went to high school with or something.
You know.
Oh, good old Chris Chambers from Coleraine, class of 98.
Yeah, it was us and Vern and Gordy.
You never have friends like when you're 12 years old.
You want to see a dead body?
Anything else for the top?
No.
Anything for the bottom?
Just want to make sure everybody
We're all bottoms.
loved Andy for turning 40 and
Oh
gave
yeah,
him
thank
support.
you for all the nice.
I was very proud of you for doing it.
Comments on like Instagram and Facebook. Thank you very much.
Did I pick the right pictures for your
Yeah, I
collage?
forgot. Thank you for that picture too.
Because
I told Freddie, I was like, the night before, I'm like, we have to do that because Andy normally makes them. And I was like, can you start working on that?
Yeah.
And I was like, and make them good because you know how he gets.
were you okay with the
Yeah,
one
it's
from the
fine.
wedding? I love that picture.
I'm very immature.
Yeah. I feel like that really captures your essence.
Well, I did notice like I'm making the same face in every picture, like hi. I'm like,
And he has a big face. He gives big face. He's got big face energy.
It's like I'm about to swallow the world in every picture. Like,
Yep.
All righty, let's move on. Let's move on from Andy's big face.
hey, don't tell me what to do, you entitled twat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That feels
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
So is there like any chance of getting malaria out here? What? Okay, there are mosquitoes. It's possible.
Yeah, the real world thing, Matilda, happened not far from here.
Hey, what do you mean real?
Come on, there's a whole song about it.
I mean, it's a bit suspect, don't you reckon? I mean, whoever killed themselves over a sheep.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ever since then, the malignant ghost of Swagman has haunted remote waterways, whistling his mournful song and tucker-bagging anybody unlucky enough to stumble into his watery domain.
Nice.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I know someone's out there. It's just a story, right? Right?
No, please, no!
Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coconut tree.
I'll see.
That sounded like Origins at the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then that other part sounded like he just dropped his phone down a well.
Oops.
So I had the roulette movie this week. It is The Marshes, the feature debut of writer-director Roger Scott. Clearly an Australian film from that trailer.
Clearly.
Talking about a swag man. I know I've lost it.
Clearly.
Didgeridoo.
Clearly.
So you guys know what a swag man is?
That was more Betty Davis.
I thought it was like the kid.
Clearly. Or
He's trying.
Katharine Hepburn. Anyway.
What did you just say, honey?
Do you guys know what a swag man is?
No.
Is
This
it just
somebody
like-
that passes out swag.
Is it just
It's
flossing?
He's a
It's
swag
stuff
man.
we all get, man.
Yeah.
A swag man is a guy is like a hobo essentially.
Like a bag man.
He carries a swag. I guess is like
No,
a
a
bedroll.
bagman is like a mob thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a mob.
Or like a thief thing. You got your bagman.
I don't know.
Worm is
I don't
one
know,
of those
man.
caterpillars that spins webs.
Yeah. So swagmen have kind of this look. Do you remember the creeper from Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah, that big monster.
Got the an overcoat or
Like
something?
a big overcoat, like a hat, and like he carries all of his possessions with him everywhere he goes. And this is basically a slasher movie where the swagman is the slasher. Oh. It's in the marshes. I started like, what is it called again? That place where there's marshland? Oh yeah, the
swamp.
marshes, the swamp. There's these researchers, Priya, Will, and Ben. They are like, I guess, like a grad student, and they're doing science.
Yeah, they're researching.
Yeah, they're doing water samples, much like in The Color Out of Space.
Oh.
And they're on a reserve in this marshland. And the reserve is protected for scientific research, but they come across a couple of pig hunters. This white, I think, husband and wife, like rednecky kind of duo that are very mean.
Yeah.
Amy would not like them.
What are the Australians? What do you guys call your rednecks? Your
I think they just say redneck, yeah.
Okay. I was hoping you guys would have something more fun.
Well, they have other stuff.
Fanciful.
Billy Boos.
Billy Boos.
Clippies.
Yeah, that's the guy that helps you on Microsoft, right?
Right, yep.
Yep.
Isn't it Clippy?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The paper
little
wizard.
paperclip.
It looks like you're trying to slash pigs in the marshes. Can I help? So they come across these hunters, and Priya is much like Amy, doesn't take shit off anyone. She's like,
shit off no one.
She's like, this is a reserve. You can't hunt here. And they're like, Sheila. I don't know. They give her noise about it.
Hey, we just went to Outback. We're practically Australian now.
Mm-hmm.
You could do better than that.
I love Australia.
You entitled twat. I don't know how they would say it. Say it in an Australian accent.
You just did.
Yeah,
There's no need for me to do it.
Wow.
I think you wrote the book on that.
I feel
one.
like they'll say
Nailed.
twat. Twat?
I think they say. Do they say twat?
You entitled twat.
It sounds like you're the Affleck duck doing this.
I am the Affleck duck.
Or the guy from IT Crowd.
Didgeridoo.
So they have your campfire scene where they tell you heard it in the trailer, this whole thing about the swag man and the legend of, something about raping a sheep at some point. I didn't completely gather.
I remember the legend of raping a sheep at some point.
The legend of raping a sheep at some point. And it kind of
creepy.
It is creepy. And it's also a little confusing because I'm like,
when does it happen?
Right. I don't know what that had to do with the rest of it.
I thought some point was a place.
But
that's what's confusing. Is it a place? Is it a time?
This is one of the many films I think inspired by, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's that kind of thing. It's
what's his weapon of choice?
He
don't be where you shouldn't be.
He has I think some shears, maybe
some sheep shears.
I can't even remember honestly.
Yeah, probably.
He cuts people, but he hangs people up too, on like meat hook type things.
He just like a kill.
I don't know. I was in and out of it.
Does he carry all his weapons with him?
He's a swag man. He carries everything with him.
He's got a swag bag.
Yeah. He's got Gwyneth Paltrow's goop.
It's a boat tote, and he just puts everything in.
Like, how do you sneak up on people if he has all his stuff on him?
I don't know. He's good at it. He's good at sneaking up on people.
You should be hearing him clanging around, right?
Is he a supernatural creature or just a regular guy?
He seems to be just a dude.
He's just
but you never really, the one thing I do like about this is you never really see it. You just see the brim of his hat, and I don't think you ever see his face straight on in this. He's kind of mysterious. They handled, this movie is so perfectly mediocre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is a 5 out of 10 if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Like it's lit proper, the acting's good. But it is so unremarkable.
Sometimes that's worse than like a straight out bad movie.
Because at least you have some, you can sink your teeth into a bad movie in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Where this, you're like, meh. And
any good kills at least?
The kills are okay. Again, just right middle of the road, nothing too extreme. And there is one kind of chilling moment where this guy is being killed by him. He goes, "You're not real." Like he's like this isn't really happening thing, but he's like, you don't really exist, like kind of thing, but it's very much happening.
So he's wrong.
Good. He was definitely wrong. So yeah, for me, it's a no, not a recommend.
Dog.
No, it's a no dog.
It's not for me, dog.
It's pitchy.
I remember Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
Being another Australian movie I didn't care for that much.
Should revisit that one.
Should I?
Because I think that one is actually...
That's kind of like a cult classic, right?
Yeah.
People seem to really like that.
I am what I am.
The performance of John Jarratt, I think it was, and that makes that worth giving a second look to. Because he does some really cool shit in that movie.
Was Lake Mungo Australian?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That was a good one.
Lake Mungo.
Mungo. Where else is that going to be held? You guys have such a fanciful word choice.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Mm-hmm. You Australians, you Aussies.
Yeah, I remember really loving
you
Lake
sweet little
Mungo.
babies.
Have you seen that one, Kelley?
I haven't seen it yet, but it is on my list. It's I remember you guys talking about it.
You should move it up your list.
Yeah, it's on there.
Should move it up.
We don't watch much stuff. Probably watch 2 hours of TV a week, if that.
Yeah.
I watch 2 hours of TV a day.
But this is cinema.
No, I know.
Don't you want more cinema in your life, Kelley?
I don't know.
Kelstons.
Kelstons. All right.
I feel like cinema.
Let's get the Jack in the Box out and start cranking it.
Let's start jacking.
We're gonna start with our friend Kelley.
Oh,
he's all of our friends. You ready, Freddy?
Oh yeah, just about.
Because you're helping with the cranking.
Let me get my britches back.
Can you
on.
help me crank this?
Help him crank
I will
this.
happily help you crank.
You look Soldier Boy. Crank that.
Andy.
Oh snap!
Is this?
Brace for impact.
That's you.
I can never tell what the bad sound is.
That's the bad one. It goes boing at the end.
It's the longer one.
Yeah. Andy, you're going to watch movies on Hulu because I like to work through all the streaming services. So I'm on Hulu.
That's very democratic of you.
That's how I do it.
I like that.
Today I was like Hulu. From 2018, we have The School.
Oh.
What a great title.
The School.
When a doctor looking for her missing child awakens to find herself in an abandoned school, she must survive the supernatural terror and face her own demons if she is to find the truth about where her son is. The School.
That description makes it sound like she just misplaced him. And she's like
face.
poking around under the beds and like she keeps looking under this pile of laundry and she just keeps moving it and he's not there. But she feels like that's where she left him.
He was in the laundry all along. That's the twist at the end.
Yeah, he was. And then she just finds him. She's like, shit, I thought I looked there.
Because the movie is The School, colon, the kid was in the laundry. They're trying exclamation point.
Yeah, it's in the title.
So when I was looking for a movie, I almost picked this. It's a documentary called Bigfoot Girl. It's also on Hulu.
Bigfoot Girl.
And it's called, or here's the description.
Bigfoot Girl.
Yeah, sounds like a 90s song.
It's like Punk Rock Girl. Yeah.
After encountering Bigfoot as a child, Kiana instantly felt a connection with the creature. With the help of other experiencers, she sets out to secret locations with recent sightings to find closure to the biggest question of her life. So I thought that was mildly entertaining.
You know,
why didn't you pick that?
I'm willing to bet that the
I don't usually do documentaries for this, but I mean, I guess we could.
That was a documentary?
It's a documentary.
I bet
never mind.
The Bigfoot experiencers in that movie. That was a documentary?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I said. Never mind.
Yeah. In the midst of your conversation, you guys worked out something in my mind.
Yeah.
That I was trying to articulate. And you did it for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you.
Thanks.
Aww.
I love you.
We love you. I might watch Bigfoot Girl.
Bigfoot Girl.
Bigfoot come
you know how to tell if it's a Bigfoot girl? It's got a bow in its hair.
Yeah.
So the Bigfoots are also
it's got long
stuck with the old gender norms.
Yeah. They were all engineered to be female.
Yeah, they're more beholden to them than even we are.
They always be shopping.
Bigfoot girls be shopping.
They love shoes. Real big shoes.
They got big feet.
What size are you? I'm a 15. She's not really a 15. She's a 22.
Bigfoot Al Bundy at the shoe store, like trying to squeeze.
No big peg.
No big peg. Oh, Andy, I'm gonna go get the trophy made now.
So it's Big Al, Big Kelley.
Yep.
Big Al.
Big Bud.
Big Bud.
The legend of Big Bud.
Big Marcy.
She's still very small.
It's just regular Marcy. Yeah. Marcy in a world
She's
of big
El
feet.
Marcy Cabra.
El Marcy Cabra.
She's another cryptid.
Yeah.
I like the world that they live in.
Yeah, we're world building here, ladies.
Oh my God. I want this to be a comic book series.
I've had this weird thing happening with my Hulu lately. Ever since I watched Tangerine, it keeps trying to start Tangerine as soon as we log in. Like, it starts it every single time, and I don't know why. It's just like, I get it. It was a great movie.
Yeah, it's like, don't we deserve a second look?
It's been possessed by tangerines.
I don't know why it won't not do that.
And you open your refrigerator and all these tangerines poured out.
I get it.
And you went to work in Photoshop and the only color you could select was tangerine.
That's how I ended up believing in God.
You roll over in bed and
finally
Alise is nothing but tangerines.
I was like, honey,
they just pour
so
out
good.
onto the floor.
But you smell so good.
I love a tangerine.
Turns out she was tangerines the whole time.
The whole time.
Just pajamas full of tangerines.
Your eyesight is bad, Kelley.
I was misled.
You didn't know that? Mm-hmm. I knew that she was all tangerines.
Is that why you're always trying to juice her?
That was so awkward when you introduced her to us because we were like, this is just a bunch of tangerines in a suit.
Yeah. Well, thank you for preserving my feelings and going along
seem so happy.
with the lie.
Guys, you're going to love her. She's so sweet and also tart.
Ever since I met her, I don't get sick anymore.
My scurvy's clear. This has been a scurvy-full episode.
And she's so portable, you can take her anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, she fits in two bags.
You can hit your children with it and not leave too many bruises.
What happened
Bing
to that?
Crosby.
Oh!
What happened to that girl you used to date? She was a real cutie.
Oh.
Zawo. That was nice.
She's a name brand.
Mm-hmm.
You got the best girl.
All right.
She's name brand.
Yeah,
Comic book people out there, I need a comic book series, Married with Big Children. And I need My Wife is a Bunch of Tangerines.
Lars and the Tangerine Girl.
They got to cross over, though. There's got to be an imprint crossover.
Yes. Avenger style, but not. Okay. We did it, guys.
We did it. That happened.
You ready, Freddie?
I love this horror podcast that we do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's spooky.
No.
What?
What?
You just yelled no.
Did I? Did it happen out loud? Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Are you ready?
Y'all ready for this?
People are so easily distracted. So I'm the distractor with a little story. People can't get enough of them because, well, they connect the stories to themselves, I suppose. And we all love hearing about ourselves. So long as the people in the stories are us, but not us.
This'll tell the tale.
I'm Buster Scruggs.
Your shooting iron work.
Appears to do, yes.
Do you have anything to say before sentence is carried out?
Sentence? What's my sentence?
Things have a way of escalating out here in the West. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings.
That man is a wonder. Oh, we'll just have to see, won't we?
Crazy business.
First time.
Man, oh man. What? For me, at least, this was a hidden gem. I know everybody else in the world probably saw it. But getting to the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, better late than never.
Yep.
Tim Blake Nelson's Buster Scruggs. This is an anthology film by the Coen Brothers.
I love it.
And
I like it.
He likes it. He hasn't. Kelly doesn't love it yet because he started it too late in the evening to properly give it the love that is inside of him for it that he doesn't know exists yet.
That could be, but I definitely did like it a lot.
Yeah, you liked it.
I loved it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Did you love it though?
I liked it.
Oh my God, Freddie.
So anyways, it's an anthology film. It's 6 stories.
I like it a lot.
Oh, I don't like that movie a lot or at all.
What was that from?
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that's right.
Do you want to start with the first story?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to point out it has this great wraparound with a storybook. It's very similar to the opening of The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And from that point on, this feels very much like a very violent Disney movie to me. Like the old Tall Tale movies or shorts they would do.
Sword of Stone started out that way.
Love his restaurant.
A book.
Yeah, the story. Well, all the old Disney animateds used to start with a storybook.
Yeah.
And this is that whole deal, you know, and I think that the opening, and Kelly and I were talking about this before we started recording, but I think Ballad of Buster Scruggs was probably the best segment in the movie, and I almost feel like it should have been the last one. But I understand why they put it first, just from a couple of little things they did that tie it to the last story. But it's Tim Blake Nelson who he's just kind of an interesting looking guy.
Yeah, he's sort of a goofy dude.
Yeah, he is so great in this, though.
Yeah, no, agreed.
He turns up as like the classic singing cowboy. This is like a relic from a couple of generations ago. He is literally on horseback playing guitar playing
very Gene Autry kind of,
yeah, and he's wearing his white. He's the good guy in white. Mm-hmm. He's got the 10-gallon hat, and it's really a big flipping hat, and
he just looks so friendly and cute.
Yeah, got the big teeth smile.
Deadly.
Yeah, and like it's like the juxtaposition of the way he looks and the way he talks and the way his character actually is.
Yeah, he addresses
a hardcore badass.
He addresses the audience directly. He breaks the fourth wall. He's the narrator, and you kind of suspect, at least when I first started watching this, I thought he was going to narrate the entire film,
right?
And the stories were going to be his stories.
I did too. I thought they were all going to be like a different song of his.
Yeah. Which would have been really cool, but in a way, I'm like, I get, especially in the second viewing when I watched it with Amy.
That's me.
That they subvert that expectation in a really interesting way, because I definitely didn't see the end of his story coming.
No, I didn't.
The thing about all these stories is they kind of end, well, except for one, sort of, but just very like, oh dear, now I'm sad.
Mm-hmm.
He comes strolling into town as like a wanted man already, and pretty much one of the best gunmen I've ever seen.
He's one of the best gunmen.
He's also one of the best singers. Singing and shooting apparently are the two most valued things in this version of the
What's
Old West.
his nickname? The what
songbird of not Calabasas.
Santa Ana.
It was the same town that Tommy Lee Jones' character from No Country for Old Men was from.
It's an S-named
San
town.
Saba?
San Saba or something like that.
And from there, he was the songbird of it.
Yeah.
Like he roams into some bar in the middle of nowhere and looking for some whiskey, and they're like, "This is a dry county," and he's like, "These dudes are all drinking whiskey," and
they're like,
and then the guy's like, and Buster is a little cavalier with his words, and one guy's like, "We're gonna fight," and he just shoots him straight in the head and then shoots everybody.
Yeah. So
to get his whiskey and leave.
Yeah, but there's a little more to that. Yeah, they won't serve him because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
Until they realize who he is when he does the shootout. Then the card game with
then he goes
Surly
to the real
Joe.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, Surly Joe.
Yeah, Clancy Brown's character,
Mm-hmm.
Curly Joe. They call him Surly Joe on account of him being so surly.
He is surly.
He goes to sit down.
Don't call me surly.
That was a separate town. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was conflating those two scenes.
Yeah, that actually no. Yeah, those were two because when I was first watching this, is this gonna be the whole movie? He just goes into town
and shoots everybody,
picks on him, and then he just kills everybody.
Yeah, because he killed everybody, and the one guy was crawling out.
It killed him.
Yeah, he was like, "I'll leave you for the coyotes."
Yeah, he goes looking for a poker game at a bar where everybody's supposed to have left their guns at the security checkpoint up front.
Yeah,
this is a non-violent establishment.
I like that little touch.
Yeah,
the gun check at the
yeah. And do you know, like he called his one gun later. I'm not sure what the other one was, but then he called them. What are the senoritas? The ones on his ankles. You want the senoritas too?
What if he got like a low number or something? Like
well, yeah, that's how I was like, I didn't see any of that change hands, and it's like, how do you know whose guns are who later? You know,
I guess you just come and grab them because the guy who came in just grabbed his belt.
Well, no, the guy handed it to him.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, this is yours.
He's got a good memory.
I'm just these are the dumb things in my head that I spend time on.
No, he's just excellent at his job.
Okay,
he's a really good bartender and good gun check. Yeah,
so
chicken tender.
At the poker table, there's Curly Joe's holding court with the other guys, and one guy looks at his hand, and he just gets up and leaves. Right? Am I remembering that correctly? But anyways, yeah. So Buster Scruggs comes up and says, "Well, this is convenient. There's an open seat." He sits down and he looks at the cards. It's the dead man's hand, which is the one that Jesse James was dealt, like notoriously. Before he was assassinated, and he puts the cards back down. I assume that maybe he recognized that, and that was a bad luck thing. And Curly Joe, Clancy Brown's character, says you got to, if you look at him, you play him. You see him, you play him. And he's like, "No, sir, I ain't in. He did." And he's like, "Well, the guy before you did, so you're in. You got to play those cards." And he's like, "Nope." Curly Joe's not having it, and he draws on.
Yeah,
Buster.
He snuck his gun in.
Mm-hmm.
So is that guy so good at his job? Apparently I ask you.
Or is Curly Joe just so good at sneaking?
We're so intimidating that they never even ask him.
Yeah.
But Buster is a secret, like physics ninja.
It was like Bondish almost.
Yeah.
It was great. Like, cause he says, what's the line? He's like, and what if, he goes, I suggest you don't blah, blah, blah. And he says, and what if I don't? And he doesn't, there's no more exchange after that. Buster Scruggs just kicks the other end of the table and does the seesaw thing to Curly Joe's gun and makes him shoot himself in the head twice.
Yep.
Which it is super fucking funny.
And then he sings a song about him, making fun of him.
And the whole bar loves it.
Except for his one friend who comes running in.
His brother.
Or his brother was his brother.
He's like, you, me, high noon, outside.
Yeah.
So Buster goes out there.
Wasn't that easy to call people out back in the Old West?
I guess.
What a horrible place.
Yeah, I'm not into it at all.
I'm like, nope.
But this
first
is
of all, you would be working on the railroad, and I would be a prostitute.
Well, now
you might be a homesteader.
You'd be having a gun shootouts every 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I
that's
would.
true.
Yeah.
Amy is not too dissimilar from Buster Scruggs.
Just kicking.
I have a beautiful
tables.
Yeah.
He shows off when he kills this dude.
Yeah. It's so funny. He shoots off each one of his fingers.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I can't do much with those without those fingers. And the guy starts using his other hand to get his gun out. And he said, when God made this man, he forgot to put in the quit.
Yeah.
That's a great line.
And he pulls out the mirror.
Yeah. He's just
turns around.
And again,
gun,
he says, I'm not going to get too fancy with it.
And he breaks the fourth wall again. He talks to us about it. Like how everything's reversed in the mirror.
Yeah.
I was like that. I like that little touch where he talks to the audience directly.
Yeah.
Explaining his physics ninja-ness.
Felt like a Looney Tunes kind of moment.
Kills him.
And then
the kid rides.
It's very Three Amigos-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that movie.
I do too.
So yeah, the kid.
It's almost been my podcaster's choice for so many years.
1 year. You'll do it.
It's so choice. Mm-hmm. So Willie Watson, the kid, that's the actor Willie Watson. He rides in, and he's all in black. So traditionally, okay, you got your good guy, bad guy visuals here, but he's not a bad guy.
He's just looking to take his place.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be the singing gunslinger.
Yeah, and he's also respectful of. He's the first one who's treating Buster with any respect,
even though he plans on killing him, and he does.
Yeah, and they have the shootout, and then the best for me, the best moment in the movie, and I think they were nominated or won for the song here, where Buster takes one in the forehead. As soon as he hits the dirt, like this angel comes, he turns into the angel.
Well, I love that delayed reaction where he takes his hat off, and he sees that bullet that's gone all the way through, and like he just realizes, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Oh dear.
The kid has this beautiful tenor singing voice. He starts singing, and then it turns into this great harmony with the two of them as Buster trades in his spurs for wings, and he flies to heaven.
He gets that harp.
The harp was the greatest touch. The way the harp kind of comes down and he meets it, and they time, man, that's what I love about like the cinematography in this movie, how it matches the music so perfectly. That they time when he gets the harp to when the harmonies start and everything. It's just like, it gave me goosebumps.
It's very Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes, yeah.
It seemed to remind me of Roger Rabbit when the weasels died. And they all went to heaven with the harps. So like that, the cartoony way that they handled this.
The crazy one, though, couldn't just let it go.
Yeah.
He still flipped the switch.
It was super cartoony.
It definitely was.
And Freddy was like, I like in this world that everybody goes to heaven. Mm-hmm. It was really sweet that in this world they build, no matter how many people you kill.
Yeah, you're all right.
I guess you're
as long as you were
justified or not.
You're playing by the rules of the world you're in, I guess. In that sense, you're not bad.
I also think, it's like life in the Old West is hard enough.
Yeah.
That they're like, everyone gets cut a break in the end, you know, like in some respect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In this mythology of this kind of Old West is like, well, you're just struggling to survive on Earth, so when you die, your slate is clean.
Yeah. Clean slate.
And like, is Buster Scruggs a good guy or not? I mean, I can't tell. Like,
I don't think
is the stuff he did justified at all, or he's just?
Well, I think in the cartoon universe of it, yes.
Yeah, but also it's beyond that even.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good guy, bad guy thing at all. I think it's just who he is.
Right. It's just like when you watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Right? No
rest
good
in
guys
peace.
or bad guys.
Oh yeah, Terry Jones. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
And Neil, we didn't RIP Neil Peart either.
Oh yeah, we never did talk about that.
Son of a bitch.
One of the probably maybe the greatest drummer who ever lived.
He was one of the best rock drummers for sure. It's people debate it. I would.
Is it like Neil Peart then Phil Collins, or
Phil Collins is really up there actually though. If you see. It's not about the music he releases, but his actual talent of playing the drums.
Sure, no.
You know what I mean?
I do know what I mean.
Right.
He's not a show off in the music he releases, but he's capable of all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that he's a Neil Peart.
Well, right.
Nobody. I mean, you drop a man when a guy has to be like basically lowered into his drum kit from a crane.
Yeah,
and he can use everything in that circle.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and he never blinks.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, that was some shit.
He's a beautiful.
How do we get on Neil? Oh yeah,
automaton.
Because of.
Anyway, everyone's dying.
Everyone dies. So Nero Agadones is the next story. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure. You have this cowboy, James Franco.
Mm-hmm.
This was my least favorite one, even though I loved Stephen Root in it, but there wasn't enough of him to save it for me.
Really? He was great.
This reminded me of an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge.
Yeah.
Like not the old Twilight Zone episode in story or whatever, but even not just because of the hanging aspect, but it is interesting. He comes full circle. Like he's kind of a doomed character.
Mm-hmm.
So the cowboy is just kind of building up the nerve to go into this bank in the middle of nowhere and rob it.
What a place for a bank. I don't understand the Old West. But
What
Jesus.
a place for a bank.
Who's traveling out there?
It's a crazy business.
It's in the middle of, in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it for it looks like miles.
She wouldn't shit you.
No. Thank you.
She can't physically.
Nope.
So
that's not how it works.
He goes in and Stephen Root's the bank teller working behind there.
Great, fucking awesome character.
I had to put on subtitles for this part
because the way Mushmouth.
Yeah. I love as he's like just kind of letting him know, real like you don't want to do this, partner.
Yeah,
he's like, I just used my scatter gun yesterday.
What's funny, and since Andy has subtitles on, and I know Amy's probably right about this, but there's a line of dialogue where he talks about the guy he shot in the legs in the sheriff or whatever wouldn't come around but once a month, and he had already been there a week before, so he had to keep the guy in the vault for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I thought he said he's Inhuman now, and Amy says he's in Yuma now.
Yeah.
You had the subtitles. What was it? Do you know?
Oh, I forgot it.
Ah, damn it. But I feel like he said he's Inhuman now.
Yeah.
I think she's right, though. I think
it's Yuma.
Yeah. Was Yuma a prison?
Yuma's a place.
I know Yuma's a town, but is there like a prison there?
I'll find out for you.
Anyways, I was just curious. Like why, what for?
What for? Where far out art thou?
The artwork in this, when they go through the color plates in the book, that's another great thing. It's the moment that Stephen Root's character comes out at the back of the bank during the shootout.
The pan shot.
And he's covered in like cast iron skillets and pans and stuff as armor.
It's got that washing board on his chest.
Like Doc Brown? Or Marty, rather. Like,
where he used the stove, the plate, like in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
What I love, like, it subverts expectations again, because you think that James Franco's this badass bank robber that's going to just, come in and do his business.
Yeah.
And Stephen Root is kind of like a buffoon.
Yeah, but it's the exact opposite. Yeah,
which is kind of what they do with Buster Scruggs.
Yeah,
it's a subversion of expectations all over the place.
Yeah, which is I think kind of their trademark too.
Oh yeah,
Coen Brothers, like that whole shootout is great. The horse won't listen to the cowboy, so he's kind of just like he can't win. You kind of when you think back to the opening of it, him being so nervous about even going in. To do it. This was maybe the very first time he's ever done something like this.
Right. And on his first go round, he gets busted.
And when he comes to, he's already strung up to a tree, and they're explaining to him that while he was unconscious, he had a trial and was found guilty, and he's been sentenced to death.
I don't think that's a due process at all.
Yeah, well, that's frontier justice, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Yuma was a prison. It was called the Yuma Territorial Prison. It opened in 1876. It is now a historical site.
There you go.
He was in Yuma.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Inhuman.
Yeah, just take the 310.
I prefer Inhuman. He's Inhuman now.
When Freddy says he's strung up to the tree, he's actually still on his horse. So as soon as they get done passing the sentence,
they're going to slap the horse on the butt.
Horse.
Yeah.
And take off. But we've got some scalpings to do first, because the local Native American tribe is like, I'm going to come fuck your shit up.
Boy, do they. I love the moment the arrow goes into that guy's neck.
Oh, yeah.
And it's even better that it's not what takes him out. He just breaks it off and keeps going. These guys are kind of like a badass posse. Mm-hmm. And they have this great fight.
I got a badass posse.
Yeah, you do.
I thought it was sweet. That's what you called it last night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
We're getting gross now, aren't we?
What?
We don't have to work blue, you know.
Yesterday you're talking about your sweet pussy.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Sweet posse, sweet pussy. I get it. I
Kelly's
see the
up to
wordplay.
speed.
Thank you, everyone.
Sorry.
So,
You're filthy.
This derails the whole execution.
But the look like the chief or the leader of this like raiding band is like and just leaves him alive on his horse, and the horse is hungry
and it's eating the grass. That's a great element too. Is that like
moving a little?
It keeps have to move a little more. You had to get more to eat.
This reminded me a little bit of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly too,
definitely.
where basically kind of a very similar thing happens. And spoiler alert, but Clint Eastwood's character basically keeps leaving Eli Wallach's character stranded by a rope. Yeah, a couple times in that movie. So very kind of similar thing.
It felt like a Tales from the Crypt episode too.
Yeah,
like the part where like the horse is, going further and further.
Yeah,
and pulling the noose tighter and tighter.
I feel like this whole movie feels like an EC comic.
Yeah, I thought that's what the whole. This whole segment was going to be about, just him on that horse.
Yeah.
But he gets rescued by a guy who you find out has stolen all those cows he's herding.
I love when he tries to shoot the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just keeps missing.
He just keeps missing. The horse takes off and he's just hanging. He's like, stop, move. But you think he's just hiring him on. He's just
he's like, if I'll help you, if you can help me with these cows. So he helps him with the cows. Smash cut. Turns out he stole. They think he stole all the cows, and then he's strung up again.
Because the other guy, I guess, had.
Yeah. So he's back. He's back on the town square, getting ready to hang with a bunch of other people.
And then he does.
And I
love it. The punchline is the guy next to him starts crying and everything. He looks at him and says, "First time."
First time.
So I just thought that was a great. And he sees the pretty girl, watching the execution, and he's just like, "Yeah, pretty girl."
Yeah.
Boom, he's dead.
Just ends. That's the segment.
I love that. I love the way this one ends. And I know you might think it's a bummer.
That was good.
You might think it's sad because James Franco is dreamy. I don't know. Somebody.
I liked it. I liked that one a lot, actually, because they just dropped you in the middle of it and then took you right out of the middle of it. It was basically you were in the middle of that story, from the get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a day in the life type movie.
Yeah.
It was just like a thing that just happened.
It's just funny. Some guys can't win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Parker Lewis. Oh, he can't lose.
He can't lose.
He can't lose. It's the opposite.
Like Rodney Dangerfield.
It's like the George Costanza of the
Got no
West.
respect.
Then we move into the darkest story in the movie.
Is this Liam Neeson and Dudley Dursley?
Ooh, God, meal ticket.
This one hurt.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember how god awful Dudley Dursley was? In the book.
I didn't realize until you just now said this that was who that was.
Yeah. Freddie told me, he's like, I'm curious to know if you're gonna recognize this guy. Not a clue until he told me. But I was kind of thinking about Dudley and looking at the character with no arms and no legs.
You're in
going,
the Harry Potter world, right? He's like, he looks Harry Potter-ish.
You justified the fact.
That's what you get, Dudley, for being a fuckface.
Yeah.
For being an entitled twat. But he's the wingless thrush. He is they travel, him and Liam Neeson, to various
towns,
burbs, burgs, villes.
Yeah.
And he does these dramatic readings of
anything and everything.
Yeah. The Bible,
the Gettysburg
Address,
the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence.
And he's really good at it too.
He is. Yeah, and people seem to really enjoy it for the most part, and they make a few coins here and there, but people get either burnt out on it, or he's just,
or they're just not making enough, and then Liam Neeson has to take care of him all the time, and it's tough. And then they discover this sensational chicken that's
a math genius.
It can do math.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson's like, shit.
So he buys that whole act from the guy who's doing that because the crowd is all about it.
They're all in.
And you think at this point that possibly he's the father.
He's got a double feature now.
Yeah, Colin thought he was the guy's father.
You think he's his father, but and there's also kind of it feels like he has empathy for him when he goes to see the prostitute, and he turns him around and then turns him back, and she goes, "You want to buy some loving for your friend?" She goes, "Has he ever had it?" And he said, "Once." And
I wonder, was there more of a meaning to that?
Well, I wanted to hear the backstory, what happened to him, of why he doesn't have arms and legs.
It's because Liam Neeson caught him with his wife and chopped his arms and legs off. That's the one time he had it.
There's all these little there's a backstory there that is very intriguing.
I feel like he had to be born with no arms and legs. Yeah. I don't know that you could chop off somebody's arms and legs and them live back then. I feel like that'd be pretty difficult.
They don't really even talk to each other. It's a very transactional relationship.
Well, he doesn't seem to talk outside of his...
he never speaks.
Yeah, that's the only dialogue is his oratory skills.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, okay, we got a double act now. We're going to double our profits. We got a math chicken and a wingless thrush. But no. On our way to the next town, Liam Neeson stops near a bridge and a rushing bit of river water thing.
Did anyone else for a moment think he was going to jump?
No.
I did for a minute. And then I was like, oh.
It was unsettling because you see him, and the way they handle this is subtle for what's happening. But he picks up a big rock and throws it over.
Yeah.
And they cut to
him walking back to the wagon with a big smile on his face. And the kid, he knows. And then it's over.
But did you also get a sense that maybe this person was a little relieved themselves to not have to live that life anymore?
Maybe. He looked scared to me.
He looked scared.
He looked scared, but he had these moments of happiness and joy because when he's eating the snow.
Oh, that moment was really
I don't
kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think he had moments of actual humanity to him and not just this object. And it hurts even more because he has these big, mournful eyes. Mm-hmm. He just looks so, adorable. Mm-hmm. And then you see his situation and it makes it even worse.
And then your last shot is the wagon just has the chicken in it and it's moving along. So he tossed him off the bridge and went about his day.
And I think it's literally he's I can feed either the chicken or the kid. You know what I mean? He's I had to buy this big bag of feed. So, sorry, you go in the river.
Yep.
It's fucked up.
It's very fucked up. Let's move on.
Yeah, so this one is a great, I think, Tom Waits' best performance in this next one.
This is my favorite one
too.
out of the series, or out of the movie.
All Gold Canyon, this is a Jack London story, I think, that they adapted for this part. And Tom Waits is playing a prospector. It's kind of what he was built for. Mm-hmm. He's singing that God bless you and keep you, Mrs. McGee. He's singing
Mrs. McCree.
I love him so much.
Gold, I do too.
He's so great.
I was very excited when I saw his name in the credits. Hoping to see I didn't realize he was going to be a main character.
Yeah.
He sees this beautiful valley.
I love it.
Some water.
This was so beautiful.
Deer. Yeah.
All of the part of what I was telling Freddie this earlier, this is a very slow paced movie sometimes. But I was always kind of kept in it because the visuals and the cinematography and the landscape was so gorgeous. It was all these places where I was I'd like to be there.
Yeah.
It didn't look real at moments because I
think the deer may have been CGI.
But it was just so pristine and perfect that I was that can't exist for real, can it?
Yeah,
it did used to.
It's true.
So he stumbles across this place. He's all right, well, let me dig a hole and see if I can find any gold here.
Yeah,
and he finds a few flecks, so he realizes there might be something here.
And you watch him zero in on it in the way I guess they really would have done it, where he's panning and he counts the number of pieces, and he's more, less, and putting flags out. And it made me appreciate a little more maybe what some of these guys went through.
He's all by himself with his donkey and
donkey.
He's old and he's working all day and he has to catch his own food and it's just a rough life. But he's
got to find somewhere to poop.
But I'm gonna get you, Mr. Pocket.
He loves it.
Yeah,
is the thing. You don't really hear him bitching or complaining. Yeah, and when he climbs the tree to get dinner, he finds the owl's nest with the eggs. I love this part.
I do too.
I think it says a lot about like it kind of defines the character.
Yeah.
That he starts to take him and he spots the owl, and he's like he starts putting him back because he feels guilty.
Yeah.
He's like, well, maybe just one.
But he's also got to live.
Like, and he says that how high can a bird count, which was a nice throwback to the chicken.
Right.
And he takes the egg and he goes back.
Oh, I didn't even catch. Like I didn't put that together. Wow, nicely done.
Yeah, he says that, and you know, you're like a bird can count pretty high apparently. 18 less 11 is 7.
Yeah.
That had to be like a trick somewhere, right?
They never let you into it.
Well, he handed him a bell.
A chicken cannot do math.
I think what it was
Don't you make that
can.
face?
A crow probably can.
When remember every time the chicken would get to the correct, you know, this is from the last segment we're talking about again.
Yeah.
It'd get to the correct number, the bell would ring.
Oh yeah.
Remember, and it looked like he was pecking it, and it made the bell ring. The last thing he hands Liam Neeson when he sells him the act is a bell. So I think what the guy was doing was waiting for the chicken to get close to the number that was the right number, and he would just ring the bell.
I see. Told you.
I'm pretty sure.
Smart.
Chickens can't do math. If I can't do math, a fucking chicken can't.
Who knows what chickens
It's going to ring a bell near you when you get close to the answer.
Thank you.
We don't know enough about chickens to know one way or another what they can and can't do.
We know plenty about
We don't know how the chicken science has just begun to be properly explored.
You were so concerned with whether a chicken could count.
You didn't think about whether chickens should count.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he finds the pocket.
He eventually, and
it's a big old pocket, but then he's deep in this hole and a shadow crosses and he's like, oh, fuck.
It's right when he finds it.
Yeah.
Dramatically, there's
Which has to mean
he
the
pulls out a
person-
huge chunk of gold.
Yeah, like it has to mean that this person's been watching him. Or
And you're
something.
excited for him too. When he pulls that big old chunk of gold out, you're like, yay.
You can just live a relaxing life now.
Because you've been you've been through it with him,
Yeah.
and also the moment with the eggs makes you really root for him because he's kind.
Yeah.
And then, bam, right in the shot in the back. And I thought this one had ended there.
By a kid and who just stops, waits for him to like bleed
Tom
a
waits.
little.
Tom waits for no man.
Tom Waits is at the bottom of the hole, not moving, bleeding out, and the kid just rolls a cigarette and kind of watches for a while, and he's like, all right, I think he's dead. And he gets down in the hole, and Tom Waits is like, fuck you, motherfucker.
I love that.
And they fight over the gun, and Tom Waits gets him in the head.
And I love it where he gets out of the hole. Well, I like he yells at the guys like, you watch me work. You let me do all the work, then you shoot me in the back.
Exactly.
And then he gets up in the river washing out his wound, and he realizes it was through and through. And he's like,
it didn't need anything important.
He's like taunting the dead kid.
I love that. He's like, just guts.
Yeah, because he thinks he's gonna die there in that stream,
Yeah.
and then he realizes like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the risk for infection is still there.
That's what I said. I was like, well,
gangrene.
It was pure mountain stream though.
But it seemed like he did okay. He didn't get infected,
and he got a ton of gold out of that. And he gets back on, loads up the donkey and heads out.
It's the only one with kind of a happy ending.
That was that's why I think it's my favorite, because it worked out the way it should have.
Well, again, it subverts your expectations.
The next one.
Because I thought he was going to be this crazed prospector that was going to, his obsession
Like
was
Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, I thought his obsession was going to be his undoing.
Yeah.
And like his greed would, cost him at the end. But he wasn't greedy because he put the eggs back.
Right.
And, he was just he wasn't that crazy person. He was just a regular prospector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are always my least favorite unsolved mystery segments, when they're like, oh, there's the potential, there's a hidden map. Somebody found a treasure map to a gold vein or a hidden treasure out in the Arizona desert. And I'm like, these are boring, Robert Stack. Move on to the next unexplained death.
I like hearing about the treasures.
I don't.
I like hearing the story about how they were left and where and why.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
I like buried. I used to love buried. When I was a kid, I always wanted to find a treasure map.
Yeah, I love buried treasure.
Goonies, man.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever done those like fake, like in Gatlinburg or something, with the fake like panning where they'll like, we did it one time.
I think it's funny that you love doing the fake panning.
It was fun.
Yet you're not into the story of why you're panning. You're like,
you just like the process. You could do that here.
It's just, it's just like a goofy little thing you can do when you're a kid.
You have a plate and some dirt.
You can do it in Disney.
You could do it here.
Okay.
In the studio. You never noticed we set up that panning station? That's for you.
I'm not going to get real stuff in it.
We're looking for Mr.
Like you
Pocket.
can at a fake place in Gatlinburg.
You don't know. There could be gold out in your backyard right now.
Where you buy like the big bag of like, you can do it in Dollywood too. Big bag of like mud. And then it's mixed in with fake crystals and shit.
They're fake?
Oh yeah. Pyrite and stuff.
They put one real diamond in every bag.
Every 58th bag.
It gets vicious sometimes.
Yeah. Little kids are punching each other.
I claim it.
One person tries to buy all the bags.
Mm-hmm.
So
kids are shooting each other in the back.
The next one is the gal who got rattled. And Andy thought, he was like, oh, someone's going to get bitten by a rattlesnake. And I did too.
I was being too obvious. Yeah.
This was another one where it's like, damn it.
So Alice Longaba is a maiden who is
stuck with her dumbass brother.
Yeah, her dumb brother.
I felt like this one had the most story.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like, yeah, this took the most. Like this,
Middle's had the most
had
characters,
the most of an arc. You know, the biggest arc.
Yeah, I agree.
Her and her brother are heading to Oregon.
On the Oregon Trail. They're playing that game.
And her dumb shit brother fucking gets dysentery. No, it was cholera.
Gilbert.
Right?
It was cholera.
Yeah, Gilbert
dies.
He's fine one minute, and they talk about this, and then he's dead the next day.
Yeah,
and they bury him, and then the boy they had hired. By the way, she's supposed to be going out to marry a guy who he set that up, right?
He like it wasn't even the marriage wasn't quite arranged. He was like, the guy's looking for a wife. I'm going to take you. It was very much like a Khaleesi kind of situation.
That's a great way to put it.
Gilbert was like a real dumb, stupid Viserys.
Viserys, yeah. And well, Viserys was a real dumb, stupid Viserys.
I know, but Gilbert wasn't quite as haughty.
As savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Viserys wasn't savvy either.
I don't think Gilbert had friends.
So before they leave, though, they have this dinner party, and you said, we talked about in the True Grit remake. There's a character who's at this table who's basically the same character that's the old lady who's talking about the nervous system.
Yeah. The tendrils.
Right.
There are no tendrils.
There are.
She was totally right.
That's what somebody says.
I know.
Yeah.
But I was like, she's right.
No, she's right.
But you're like, nobody will listen to her because she's the old lady.
But she's very she's like, y'all are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny though is like that ties in well with the ending of this story because it's a man telling a woman he knows better about something when really that person was right all along.
Yeah.
And happens a couple of times, you know.
Well, this is one story where a woman actually is featured and gets to speak.
Yeah.
None of the rest of them
the last one.
There were no women in the Old West, Amy.
None of the rest of the ones we've talked about, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Except for the prostitute who had a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's with her. They're heading out, and then he dies. And then the boy that's supposed to be taking care of their wagon's like, I want my money now. And then she realized that, oopsie, we buried Gilbert with the money.
Yeah. Not to mention the amount he's saying that his brother agreed to pay him is way more than like most of what these other guys expect to be a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
And
because when she says, because the guy says, oh, maybe he's making this up, and she kind of has this, no, probably not.
Yeah,
Gilbert was real
Gilbert's
stupid. He probably did promise in that.
But thank God
Dumb fat Gilbert.
we have the very kind man that's helping lead the train.
Bill Knapp's. Owner of 1,000 famous old people restaurants.
Chocolate cake.
I didn't put that together.
I think they don't exist anymore.
It is a retirement village of a restaurant.
You can get the chocolate cake at Kroger.
Yeah, but the restaurants I think are all gone.
I used to love that place.
Yeah?
Oof, I did not.
Used to get a free birthday meal there.
Wasn't it over where the Gold's Gym is?
Yeah, right where the Chipotle is.
Bill Knapp was the young guy. The other guy was Mr. Arthur. Yeah.
And she keeps kind of coming to Mr. Knapp for help with her situation.
Because she's hungry. Got to get some food.
Right?
Yeah, I need that chocolate cake left.
It's a real desperate situation. She clearly has no other family.
No money.
To speak of. Money.
She says she has no people.
She's at the mercy of everybody on this train, and
they don't like her dog. Well, it's not her dog, but
her dead brother's dog, President Pierce.
Little yippy yappy.
He's adorable.
She's in a bad spot, really.
Very bad.
Yeah.
And throughout this, I think Mr. Knapp starts to feel really sorry for her not in a pitying way, but like, well, I was kind of thinking about
settling down,
and
he's like, she got that booty.
She got a pretty nice booty. I like a booty.
Look at that bustle.
He's like, all the other ladies on this trip are like in their 50s.
It's like, did you see her in that bonnet?
So he's like, guess what? Why don't we get married? And she goes, I don't even know your name. And they
he's like,
introduce
have you ever
themselves.
eaten at a restaurant that's full of old people?
Then you know me.
Now you
My
do.
people.
They close at 6 o'clock.
So I think they kind of have their little moment where they're like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And one day he already told her once, quit wandering off into like the prairie or wherever the fuck we are.
Well, there's also the conversation.
Why does she keep doing that? Is there an explanation of that? Why she just keeps wandering away?
He's like, it's like the ocean.
Yeah. She would get separated, and he's like, you just got to keep up with the wagon train. But the conversation that Bill Knapp has with Mr. Arthur, where he tells him he's proposed to her and he decided he's going to quit the game. You know,
I think Bill feels bad, kind of guilty for leaving him alone.
Yeah,
he's an old man.
They've been partners, wagon training people back and forth across the country. And now he's going to dip out. And he thinks Mr. Arthur's like kind of old and not maybe...
He doesn't want to become him.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
You know, like, do you feel like when they have that conversation, how short...
Yeah, he says, I can farm.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't you feel like he was kind of like, sure, you know, this is talk. You almost feel like he's like, maybe I was that way once. Sure.
Right.
You go ahead, you do what you're going to do. You'll see how that really turns out kind of thing. Sort of thing a father does with a son, where he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be a cartoonist.
All right, well,
that's great."
But I also got some little bit of melancholy from that because this guy he's been with for 15 years is gonna leave him. So I got
there's definitely
got a little bit of sadness to it.
Men weren't allowed to reveal their feelings back then.
Yeah, it did feel like a very father-son kind of relationship.
Cats in the cradle.
And this was like you were saying, this is the only story in this that is not like larger than life in the respect of being like archetypes and simple. These are real complex people.
Yeah.
Where in all the other stories, everyone is a very simple caricature of some type of, some type of Old West archetype.
So near the end, Mr. Arthur realizes that she's wandered off.
Yeah.
And he goes to find her.
He hears her little dog.
Yeah.
Do we get the idea that he really didn't even try to kill the dog?
I think he fired to scare it off.
In the air,
yeah.
That happened earlier where everybody was sick of the dog barking. So Mr. Knapp was like, I guess I'll go kill it for you then. And she's like, I guess. And then you hear 2 shots and he comes back and he says...
He got away.
He got away.
I told Amy the dog wrestled the gun away from him. That's why there was 2 shots.
Well, we're watching it. I'm like, Freddie, I don't want to watch this, as he's walking off with the gun and the dog. And he's like, I wouldn't make you watch a movie where a dog dies.
Yeah,
so it's fine. But yeah, so Mr. Arthur finds her and she's just goofing off with President Pierce watching the prairie dogs come up and down from their little holes. And as they're starting to head back.
Dumbass little Easterner just fucking gawking at the damn prairie dogs.
Here come the savages.
Oh, you'd had to look for me every 5 minutes.
I'd have been screwed.
Here comes another raiding party of very angry Native Americans.
Yeah.
And so
They're
Mr.
not
Arthur's
happy.
like, all right, we're going to make a stand here.
Probably going to die.
Here's a gun, it has 2 bullets in it. And she's like, I don't want it. And he's like, one's for you if I get killed. Or
no, he says if it looks like we're not coming back from this, one of these is for me and you can use the other one on you. I'll shoot you and then I'll shoot myself.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, do you want to be raped to death?
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
And then he's like, and if I get done, do yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He even said they would draw and quarter her and then nail her into the ground with a.
Yeah, he said he'd impale her over the.
Impale her on a spike.
Yeah.
Vlad the Impale her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I barely know her.
And he does a really great job of fighting them off. Like a bunch of men on horses.
He's a hardcore badass old man.
But one guy pretended to be, or like he's hanging off the horse where you can't see him, and he comes riding by and he bops him with. You think he's dead.
He bunny foo-foos him.
Yeah.
Bops him on the head.
So the one guy comes up to him to like finish him off or check him out or whatever and see what he has, and Mr. Arthur just pow gets him.
And in that same exact instant, it must have happened literally the gunshot because you only hear the one.
Yeah.
She got rattled.
And she killed herself.
She got rattled. It's like if he were a stand-up comedian, Mr. Arthur, that would be his His catchphrase.
Right.
She got rattled.
She got rattled. It was, yeah. She didn't wait to see, like, she saw him, I guess the idea is she saw him getting, taken down and thought, oh, he's dead. I better just fucking do this now.
Yeah. And President Pierce is barking at over the ridge. And when he goes to check it out, there she is with a bullet right between the eyes, just like Buster.
Everybody between the eyes in this thing, unless you got thrown off a cliff.
She did. She shot herself where he told her to.
Yeah. To be sure.
It reminded me of The Mist.
Yeah.
Like, if she only waited just a couple more seconds.
Or if she didn't take his advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everything, like, when she takes a man's advice, it leads to every time. Like, the dog, that's the only reason she ended up out there to begin with.
No, but I don't think his advice was necessarily bad. I think she just...
But
she was so scared and hasty.
Yeah. If you could get in a time machine and go back and change one decision, it would be her not listening to her brother. The first piece of bad advice she gets to go out and do this. Then the second time she listens to Bill Knapp about the dog. He makes the suggestion of putting him down. And then the third time she takes the advice from this guy. And the third time is the one that
if she didn't wander off, like, so I'm victim blaming a little bit.
Yeah.
She should have waited until the guy was running towards her to rape her. And then
and then try to at least shoot him.
Yeah.
Right. But she got rattled, Amy.
She got rattled. That has been proven.
Her cage.
She got rattled.
All right. Finale.
Yeah.
But like I was like Mr. at Arthur, he has to go back and tell.
Yeah.
And that's the last line. That's how it starts too with it when they show the plate. It says like
he didn't
Mr.
know
Arthur didn't know what he was going to say to Bill Knapp.
And that was kind of heartbreaking to me.
Kinda?
Yeah.
Just very much so.
Just a teensy weensy little bit.
Yeah.
Because she's dead, and then Bill Knapp, his dreams are over too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he's going to be wagon training. This last one, so as I was explaining to Freddie outside, I started this movie somewhere around midnight, and it was close to 2:30 when I got around to this. I did not follow this one as well.
Yeah, I think my attention started wandering a little.
There
on
was
this
so
one.
much talk, and it was interesting dialogue, but like it was still, I was like,
Well, I think that was the point of the segment.
Well,
like this mundane conversations, but it turns out that there's something kind of sinister going on.
Well, this one feels like we talked about the Terror Train.
Yeah.
Terror Train? No, the Horror Express?
Yeah.
One of those.
One of them.
The Cushing Lee one.
Yeah, this is very much like a Hammer horror story. There are these characters. There's 3 civilians and 2 bounty hunters.
Daly.
Yeah, and they're in a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage, very much like a Dracula style, where you don't, every time, there's something very mysterious about the driver.
Yeah.
You never see his face. They are in this out in the middle of the night. There's a dead body on the strap to the roof of this thing. And there's the lady that's Tyne Daly, and she's kind of a proper lady. There's the Frenchman, who is Saul Rubinek from Frasier, who is Daphne's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of a prick.
And then there is the trapper, who is really the kind of odd man out here.
He looks like he smells bad.
Yeah, definitely. And then there are the 2 bounty hunters, the Irishman and the Englishman. That's John Joe O'Neill and Brendan Gleeson, who was Mad Eye Moody.
Oh, yes.
They're riding along in their automobile.
Stagecoach.
Tyne Daly is there. The trapper won't shut up. In fact, we ran into a guy exactly like this on a tram at Dollywood.
But I got stuck with that guy.
Yeah.
I was Tyne Daly in that situation.
I was reliving that when we watched this. When Tyne Daly, Amy was the Tyne Daly. But the trapper, he doesn't get a lot of human contact.
Yeah, so he just talks.
Yeah, but this is where he really is craving human contact. So he just keeps this conversation going when otherwise you think possibly this would have been just a silent carriage ride.
Right.
And it's interesting because a lot of on the second viewing, this one is a lot better because a lot of the stuff that the trapper's talking about applies to all the stories you've already seen.
Right.
Like he kind of addresses a lot of those points in the order that those stories happen. Like he talks about, they're talking about morality and like, what you do, how is there a difference between right and wrong, and like, do you play the cards you're dealt in life, or can you change your fate?
Change your fate?
And he says you can't play someone else's cards.
Yeah.
Which is something that ties back to the first story when Buster sits at the table and he refuses to play the hand that was the other man's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other moments throughout. It's worth revisiting that one. Just
I thought it was just the ramblings of a crazy man.
No, yeah, he actually. I mean, these are philosophical arguments.
They are, but I guess
they are.
Also,
but like, I guess like looking back on it, I thought he was just talking for talking's sake. But I guess it does. When Freddy said it does tie in, actually,
it makes him. He seems crazy, probably because of the amount of topics he's trying to squeeze into this ride because of the lack of human contact I think he's had. Because he even talks about being married to a woman who didn't speak his language, and she didn't speak his,
like a Native American, and like they just had these relations.
He said we would jibber jabber at each other. Left. Yeah, but I love that they would talk to each other, but they didn't understand what each other was saying, but they would still talk.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of funny.
The Frenchman is pretty insulting to Tyne Daly.
He is
trying to insinuate that her husband doesn't love her.
Yeah.
She's a burden.
Yeah.
And that because he's off teaching that he's probably sleeping with the students and all that sort of thing.
She has a little panic attack because hitting a little close to home, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Plus, she's probably got a goddamn corset on.
Yeah.
I'd have a panic attack too.
She is I love Tyne Daly because she's great at like being an intimidating.
She got a great face.
Presence. Yeah. Her and Stacy Keach, were they ever in anything together, Stacy Keach and her?
Oh, I don't know.
I always feel like those two had a very similar style of acting. They both just kind of really shook me when I was a kid. Like, oh my God, they're scary.
I think they were married for a
while. Were they married?
No.
That makes, they might have been.
I made that.
We don't know.
I guess we don't know. But
wouldn't that be some shit? Maybe in your subconscious you knew that. But yeah, so the Englishman starts to tell this ghost story, basically, the Midnight Visitor. And this is interesting too, because if you've seen the True Grit remake, this is the story that she starts to tell around the campfire in that movie, but you never get to hear it. And you still don't really get the full story in this, I don't think, where he just talks about there's a knock at the door, who would be visiting at this hour.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like a death kind of thing. And then he reveals who they are. And the Irishman starts singing the song. By the way, Brendan Gleeson's voice is really beautiful.
He's great.
Like, and he's singing about death. He's singing about like them giving roses to the pallbearers, the lady pallbearer, so they don't smell his corpse. I thought that was really chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very,
Yeah, and then that's how they get around to the topic of the dead body on the roof of the carriage. And
Tyne Daly was not married to Stacy Keach.
No, I know.
That's too bad.
Made that up.
No, I checked.
Well, we were hoping it was true.
Oh, I see.
So they're getting more and more spooked the further they go along, and I felt like this was going to be a Tales from the Crypt situation where they were dead the whole time.
Yeah,
and they may have been.
Well,
it just may have been so subtle.
It does kind of leave it. It gives you that feeling a little bit for sure.
Yeah, they arrive at I guess it's was it a hotel or something that they were staying at, and they bring the body. It's kind of comical the way they just kind of dump the body off the roof, and they're talking about apologizing to the body, the two bounty hunters. And they're talking about whose room is going to be in. That was kind of creepy.
Okay. Were they bounty hunters, or was that a euphemism for being death?
I think it was supposed to be they were death. I think all these... They
do call themselves Reapers, so...
They said we were Reapers, yeah. And I think that it was that old Hammer trope. And I just think they didn't want to be too on the nose with it.
Westerns do that all the time, too.
Yeah.
Like where everybody's dead.
Yeah, like Hang 'em High.
Somebody's a ghost. Yeah,
was that Hang 'em High, or was that
High Plains Drifter?
High Plains Drifter.
Yeah, and Pale Rider.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot he did that twice.
Yeah.
I just thought it was real spooky. I enjoyed it a lot, and it had a dreamy quality when they did the reverse. Me and Andy were talking about this earlier. Like when they arrive at the hotel, and they're scared to open the door, all of them, and when they finally do and they go in, I assume that's just death.
Well, it's a great sort of, again, callback to the first story. You know, Buster dies and goes up to heaven, and here they're arriving at us, you know, we don't know where.
Right.
Maybe this is the other place.
I don't see any wings and harps.
Yeah.
This is the bad place.
I didn't even think of it that way. This maybe there is a hell, and these people were going to hell. And then
they have their penises flattened.
I do also love that the bounty hunters talk about setting the body up in the lobby in the morning and giving it a newspaper. Do you remember that part?
No.
They're like, after they're talking about being disrespectful of it and everything, when they drag it off the top, then they're talking about propping it up. It was just great.
I'll have to revisit this one maybe.
I feel like when you told me that you didn't like this one, it shocked me because I thought this would have been your favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I know you like.
Well, I think we've established in this show that you don't know Kelley at all.
Apparently, I don't.
Well, I thought
I did.
I was ready for it to be over by that point.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know what's funny too? It's the first time I watched the movie, I did feel it was slow, and I almost went with my other pick because of that. And the second time when I watched it with Amy, it was over like in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Because I just got so much more out of it on the second viewing.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's still boring.
Kelley a blanket.
I think the performances were great.
No, I thought it was. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Coen Brothers fan. Their style doesn't always do much for me.
You haven't really seen much of their stuff, have you?
Because I know from the couple of things I've seen, it didn't do much for me.
Well, I mean, what have you seen of theirs besides this and No Country for Old Men?
And No Country for Old Men.
But you like two of those?
I like them, but not enough to be like, gotta see more.
I gotcha. I'm with you. Although I would love to show you Blood Simple.
Leave me alone.
If I could.
Leave me alone.
If you could see Blood Simple just once.
But thank you for this experience. I do like the Old West, even though it's harsh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad that you at least got something.
Well, I like how they didn't romanticize the West.
Right.
It was kind of like just showed how brutal and unforgiving it was.
Yeah.
Well, it was like they presented it to you in that sort of romanticized version, but they presented the reality of it sort of to you. Like,
yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a juxtaposition.
Yeah, you're getting the cartoony tall tale, and then you're like, but you would die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if Paul Bunyan stepped on a little kid.
Yeah, exactly. It worked. In the end, you get the reality.
A squish kid.
Well, Freddy described it as like Frontierland at Disney World.
That's what it felt like
and
to me.
That's the facade of it. But when you look behind the scenes, it's kind of
behind the scenes. It's all water bugs.
Yeah,
Mama's shooting little Buford behind the scenes.
Don't whoop little Buford.
Like, it reminded me of like each segment was kind of like an Oh My Darling Clementine or Oh Susanna.
Yeah, well, they all the songs were a big part of it too, and just I think it was sort of supposed to tie into the idea of, again, like you said, tall tales and these songs. And
and what's funny is a lot of those songs were not written for the movie. Those are real old songs from like the 30s and stuff. Mm-hmm. Except for the one, the Traded His Spurs for Wings. I think that was written for the movie.
Right. Probably.
It is funny how like that whole water song that Buster Scruggs sings in the valley it feels like it was written for that scene, but that was just a standard Old West song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a murder ballad, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm more of an Old East kind of person.
The Old East.
The Old East.
She likes dirty old New York with poop
Gangs
up
of
to
New
her
York,
ankles.
No, I like Roanoke and the Salem Witch Trials.
It's good stuff too.
That's my bag, baby.
It's like old stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Thank you, Freddy.
Yeah.
And happy early birthday to you.
Happy early birthday to you. Happy belated birthday for this present that you gave us.
Mm-hmm. Happy belated birthday to Andy.
Yeah. Happy belated. It's belated.
Mikey B had his birthday.
Everyone gets a birthday.
My birthday's coming up.
It's like Oprah.
Yeah.
You get a birthday. Look under your
listeners.
There's a vagina down there with a baby coming out of it.
Yikes.
Look at that, a birthday. Amy.
What?
You're next.
I am next. But I've already discussed it.
Yeah.
You all already know.
I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
Mama's doing Wrath of Khan, Star Trek.
This is like if I had heard Amy 10 years ago say the movie I wanted the most in the world to talk about on the podcast is The Wrath of Khan.
I know. It's wacky.
I would eat my hoodie.
Up is down. It's a lot of fun.
You've come full circle.
I mean, we could have done the one where they saved the whales in the past.
I do love that.
I know.
Voyage Home is my favorite.
It's great.
I've literally never seen a Star Trek movie.
Oh my gosh.
Did you watch the old series?
I saw the new ones, like the J.J. Abrams ones. I've seen those, but like the original Star Trek movies, I've never seen a Star Trek episode.
Oh boy.
I don't think
Of any of the shows?
No.
It was just not my bag.
Holy balls.
Doesn't have to be.
It wasn't Amy's bag either.
I thought you have accidentally seen one.
Are you aware of who James T. Kirk is? You've heard of Spock.
Is that the bald one? But that's Picard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Kirk is Shatner.
Yes.
And there's a lady captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jane.
And there's a Quantum Leap captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Enterprise.
And there's a black captain, right?
Cisco. That's just DS9.
That's the new one?
DS9.
Okay.
It's not the new
That's
one.
not the new one.
Oh, okay. Who was the black captain?
Well,
That was
Cisco, but
Cisco.
I'm not sure about Discovery. It might be that chick from Walking Dead.
Yeah. I don't know who a I don't know how Discovery works yet.
I know
Doesn't
Whoopi Goldberg was in
Yeah.
something, right?
And she might be in season 2 of Picard. That's what I heard.
And Reading Rainbow Dude.
I think Rathacon is
See, you know more than you think you know.
Geordie LaForge.
is a pretty. I don't think you need. I think they give you what you need.
Yeah, I've picked up enough from like pop culture to get the idea of it, but I've never actually sat down and watched an episode. I think.
Yeah.
No, I think we did. Did we do a Star Trek episode?
You have seen one. You did the Halloween.
Yeah, didn't we?
Yeah.
But like earlier episodes, didn't we do like an episode of Star Trek sometime? We didn't.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
All I know is for the Halloween we did.
Okay.
We did that one Halloweeny thing. Remember?
Anyways, we're going to do Rathacon for my pick.
I
So that'll be next week, and Andy will review The School or
Forgot-
Bigfoot Girl. You can choose.
No, I forgot the name of it because the name of the movie is
Pretty bland.
It's bland.
something. Yeah. So that's happening, y'all.
So again, patreon.com/NOTLP. That's where the money makes the show happen. Money
That's
makes
where
the world go
rubber
around.
meets the road.
That's where the rubber meets the road. Like,
Our
there's a road.
That's where the bullet
There's rubber.
hits the bone.
And our most generous patrons are producers of the show, our Beelzebubs, and here they are. Amy, have you mailed that shirt yet for Jeremy? I just like to call you
Why
out
is
on
it
there.
my
Put you
thing
on the
to
spot. We should make Andy do it. Andy, have you mailed that shirt yet for Jeremy that you just heard about?
Sure didn't.
God damn it.
All right. So
Jeremy, quit losing weight.
Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora.
Yeah, Jim Bolding.
Hi.
Bill Fahrner.
Hi.
Oh, you're heading west.
He's from New York City. Blake Heath. Amanda James.
Oh my goodness! You get two cards.
The Warbler of Corning Township, Alise Kombrinck.
Oh, she's singing.
She's a pilot. Andrew Reeds.
Jeff Lancaster.
Wanted.
Dead or alive.
Tree and Alex McNulty.
Dead or alive.
The Ballad of
Ernie Perez, who is in the West.
Yeah.
How accurate is this to your day to day? The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Ernie.
How many shootouts?
It's a crazy business. Mark Watts.
Panning for gold.
Branan, Whitehead, and Emily Intravia.
They own a little schoolhouse.
Iona Goodwin.
She owns Iona, the little schoolhouse.
I understand that Australia is the old American West, essentially. I hope you're safe from the spider problem that I heard about.
Hasn't there always been one?
No, because of the fires. Apparently,
Jesus.
there are these really dangerous spiders that have been.
I thought you were going to say fire spiders.
No, they've been displaced, I guess, and now they're.
How is Australia a place that people still exist?
I don't know, but
so
stay out of the
scary.
marshes. I know that
They're
much.
doing what?
Scary.
If you Google like the Australian spider problem, I'm sure that's all you got to put in. There is an issue because of these insane wildfires they're having that
Right.
displace these super dangerous spiders. And I guess they're all over. You have to like keep an eye out for them now, like in your day to day.
Fuck that.
I don't know if that's an exaggeration in the media. You know how that goes.
They love spiders.
We need to
I
find
love
new,
a spider story.
we need to find new housing for these spiders.
And
Well, now that it's
yeah.
raining,
Oh, are you looking?
the spiders are coming.
They're going back.
Encouraged by wet and hot conditions, male funnel web spiders are venturing out to find mates. So the heavy downpours have made the conditions sexy for these spiders.
Everything's wet down there.
Sexy conditions. And last but not least, Adam Ingram.
Aw, you are alive at the end of your story.
You're a sexy spider.
We didn't get nothing important. You're important.
Oh, God.
It completely missed his whimsy box.
Oh, that's good.
Anything else, guys?
I don't know.
I think
I don't think I would ever watch this movie on my own.
No, I would not have.
So thank you, Freddie.
Oh, that makes me happy.
It was like one of those where I was like, I'd probably check that out because everyone seemed to really like it, but I may not have made it around.
You know why I didn't get to it like right away is because it was this is stupid, but because it went straight to Netflix, I just assumed it wasn't going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, that's dumb.
Well, lesson learned.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you in a week.
Yes.
Night.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of